Hi guys! If you're joining for the first time, I'm so glad you're here. And to those of you who are tuning in again, thank you for your support and being a part of this space. Please remember that these are general messages shared with the intention of offering insight, clarity, and support. Take the messages that resonate and leave the rest behind. I'll always encourage you to trust your own inner wisdom above all. Thank you for your likes, your comments, subscribes, and your efforts in keeping this space peaceful, loving, and in harmony with the Most High. If you feel called to connect with this message on a deeper level or would like to book a personal reading, you can find that information in the description box below. So let's get into this message. I'm getting over a little cold, so I'm a little congested. What message do you have for the collective at this time? Help me to articulate a clear and concise message in order for it to be received the way that you want it to best be received. Help me to see what it is that I need to see to get the message across as clear as possible. And help me to deliver any messages that you deem worthy in order to serve your highest good for the highest good of humanity with harm to none. What messages do you have for the collective at this time? What messages do you have for the collective at this time? Okay, so this tried to come out, but I put it back. Okay, what I'm sensing is it seems like there is the frequency of you really trying to find a sense of direction on where it is you're going, right? And not necessarily as if you are lost, because it doesn't seem like you're lost. It more so seems like you're looking for concrete guidance, right? Whereas you've been kind of like walking by faith, you've been following your intuition, you've been in this space of kind of like discovering new things, you've been breaking old habits, creating new cycles, starting new habits, letting go of old cycles, right? But now it's more of a place of like, okay, I want like concrete evidence of what step to take next, right? It's almost like tired of, well, I'm not going to even say tired, but it's more so just like just wanting to be in a space of knowing where each step is going to take you, right? Because it's almost as if like you're aware that you are in a completely new cycle, right? You're aware that things are not the way that they used to be. You're aware that you have kind of closed one thing to create something new, right? You're aware of the division between the two spaces of time in which you are existing. But in this space, it's more so like you don't want to necessarily walk by faith. You want to be guided step by step so that you can continue to progress in this new phase. It's almost like, I don't want to say you're afraid to mess things up, because I'm not sensing a sense of fear. It's more so like a yearning of for a sense of comfort, a yearning for a sense of peace, right? this is a peaceful energy because the new phase that you have created is peaceful, but not having to wonder if the next step that you take is going to be a wrong turn on this new journey, right? You want to be sure that every step or every action or everything that you do in this new phase is something that is building and not breaking down, right? What it is that you're working towards. So there's a certain level of certainty that you're seeking in this new phase because you are so inclined to, again, you just want to make sure that you're in the building phase. It's almost as if like you've worked so hard to get to this new phase that you don't want to make any wrong turns to put yourself back on the path in which you have just came from. Clarify intuition. There's also like a knowing that this is where you're supposed to be. Like there's a strong knowing that where you are now is right. There's a knowing that where you are now is where you're meant to be. The moon, the Five of Wands, and the Page of Wands. It's almost as if like you're tired of being in, look, the Justice card, balance with the Tower underneath, right? It's almost as if like you're tired of being in this place of having to like fight to climb up the mountain. You just want to be able to kind of rest in this place of knowing, as opposed to having to kind of fight your way through the confusion, through the cloud, through the fogginess, right? It's almost as if like how can I put this into words? Give me something on this Five of Wands. Actually, I think I might pull from this deck. Give me something on this Five of Wands. The Page of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles. Ace of Swords. Again, there's a truth, there's an understanding that you have, that you are where you're supposed to be, right? You know that you are in the right place at the right time. You know that you're taking the right steps. You know that you're taking the right actions, right? But it's almost like you're tired of the challenge. You're tired of the fight. You're tired of the back and forth. You're tired of the friction. You're tired of the resistance that comes with this element of growth, right? With this element of walking by faith, right? It's almost as if like, I don't want to say you're becoming weary, but that's kind of what the frequency is, right? I mean, you're already in the new phase with the portal here in the center. That says that you are like in this new cycle. You're in this new phase, right? You have already closed out things that don't necessarily fit where it is that you're trying to go. But again, on this new path, or this new journey, it's almost as if like you don't want it to feel like an uphill battle. You wanted to come with a little more adventure. You wanted to come with a little bit more ease. You wanted to come with a little bit more clarity, right? You want a deeper sense of understanding without so much of the guesswork that comes with walking by faith, right? You want there to be like a balance in, like it's almost as if like you feel like you've done your part in kind of breaking down old cycles, breaking down old habits, breaking down old connections or relationships or whatever it is for you, right? And now you kind of want You want the blueprint for how to rebuild. For how to rebuild this new phase. Clarify portal. Yeah. Yeah. Walking away. This is those cycles ending, and this is you investing in that new beginning. Clarify the 8 of judgment. Yeah, the purpose with the Page of Cups. So again, you found your purpose, right? You've learned your lesson. You have gotten your place to an understanding of why you had to go through certain experiences, or why you had to live through certain things, or why certain lessons presented themselves to you, maybe one time or many times over, right? Depending on you and your personal journey. But there is an understanding that you have of who you are, what you're supposed to be doing, and where you're supposed to be going, right? And so now you have, again, a deeper understanding of what it is that you're meant to let go of, what it is that you're meant to experience in this lifetime. But again, there's a sense of, am I going to receive better guidance so that I don't have to repeat the same mistakes, so that I don't have to learn the same lessons over again, right? And not necessarily learning the same lessons over again, but kind of, it's almost as if there is a hesitance of you repeating the same cycle in a different way, right? So having to learn the same lesson even though it looks completely different. There's a small sense of fear in that, right? Where you are persistent with moving forward on this new path. You are feeling intentional with where you're supposed to go on this new journey, but also it's almost as if there's just like a little bit of a wound that you are still trying to tend to when it comes to, it's not as if it's a fresh wound, but it's something that you don't want to be reopened, right? Because it's something that hurt or that you went through that may have affected you so deeply that you don't want to experience that again, right? Whether that is a sense of abandonment, whether that is a sense of loss within your own identity, within whatever, right? A loss in general, right? Whether that is a sense of having to recreate, having to rebuild, having to reestablish. There's something that you have experienced that it almost just feels like you don't have the energy. You don't have it left in you to go through that again, right? It's almost as if like having to go through that again would just take it all out of you, right? Oh, what was flipped over? But the Six of Wands was flipped over. So again, this new phase is going to bring you success. These are just like worries. These are challenges. These are things that kind of creep in your mind from time. But I'm not seeing the reality of that situation here on the table, right? I'm seeing, like, again, a sense of success because you have evolved. You have grounded yourself in your identity. You grounded yourself in your reality. You grounded yourself in your understanding and your knowing and your guidance, right? And your intuition, and knowing when to follow your intuition, when to give and when to let go, when to move forward, when to hold. Like you have the knowing, you have the understanding, right? And so don't be so fearful of allowing yourself to be more open or be more vulnerable or be more expressive, or allowing yourself to be more seen in this new phase, right? Because this new phase is really deserving of who it is that you are as a whole, right? In the past, it was almost as if like you were giving yourself as a whole to people, places, things, experiences, or what have you, to things that didn't really deserve, right? Because they weren't completely aligned. But you are completely aligned to this new phase. You are 100% aligned to this new cycle. And so again, you are able to 100% give yourself to this new cycle, to this new phase, to this new circumstance, right? The Hermit card, ooh, and the Queen of Cups. That is 100% like, how can I put this into words? This is something that is deserving of you bearing your soul to it, right? You giving your soul to it, right? Obviously, save some for yourself. You never want to give yourself completely to the point where you lose yourself. But this new phase is completely deserving of all of the love you have to give, all of the effort that you have to give, all of the nurturing that you have to give, right? This new phase is deserving of the vulnerability that you have, or the depth of knowledge, of wealth, of nurturing, of love, of expression that you encompass, right? This new phase is deserving of that growth, right? Because you have evolved to a space where you have put yourself in alignment with the things that are deserving of you. And so if you have intentionally put yourself in that space, know that the new phase that you're in is in alignment with what it is that you have intentionally, the cycle that you have intentionally placed yourself in, right? I hope that made sense. Clarify, search. The Seven of Wands. The Ace of Cups. Right. This is like a, how can I put it into, ooh, yeah. This is like soul searching energy, but almost in a frequency of, how can I put it into words? It's almost as if like this is something that is of equal and greater value to what it is that you have to offer, right? So again, you have directly aligned yourself with something that is of equal or greater value to what it is that you have to offer, right? You have something that will fight just as hard as you have to fight, right? Something that will stand up for what it is that you believe in as a unit, right? As a whole, right? So this is the manifestation that you have called in, seeking you just as much as you are seeking it, right? This is a new position, a new job, a new environment, a new connection, right? Again, take it how it resonates. It's going to be different for each of you. But whatever this is, it's almost as if, again, you're so aligned that whatever this is that you're aligned to is going to put in as much effort as you are. There's going to be as much of a fight. It's going to put up as much of a fight to remain aligned to you just as much as you're willing to, right? So as long as you're willing to continue to grow and evolve in this new phase, whatever this is that you have aligned yourself to is going to continue to add to that life just as much as you do, right? All right, let's pull 4 cards to close this message out. 1 card for what we can learn as a major lesson surrounding this message. 1 card for the opportunities we can create surrounding this message. 1 card for what we can meditate on as the focus of this message. And 1 card for the new cycles and habits that we can innovate to contribute to our growth and expansion surrounding this message. Things are working out in your favor. And the universe is working in tandem with you to ensure you that you're not alone in this space of growth. You're not alone in this space of evolution, right? You're not alone in this new space in which you feel is uncharted waters, right? Because again, you may feel like this is you may or may not feel like this is uncharted waters. One, because truthfully it's something like you've never experienced before, but because it's so different, it's almost as if like there's such a fear that like it's almost as if it feels like it's too good to be true, right? Because it may look like something that you have experienced in the past, but in reality it's something completely different, right? It may even like it how can I like get this out, how it's like coming through, like it may be something that seems familiar, and because it seems so familiar, it's almost as if you're judging it off of something that you have experienced in the past, when in reality it's familiar because it's something that you were seeking, right? It's something that you have been trying to align to this whole time. So in the past, when you thought that you were aligning to something that seemed familiar, in reality, it wasn't really aligned with what it is that you were seeking. Whereas now, you yourself are in alignment with what it is that you were seeking. And because you already had a preconceived notion of what it was that you were trying to manifest, it seems familiar, right? Because it's what you've been searching for this whole time. It's what you have been trying to create this whole time. But again, there's also that sense of hesitation because it looks and feels so familiar. Again, it's that it feels too good to be true. One card for what we can learn. That's the major lesson surrounding this message. Tantric and alchemic, right? You have aligned to what it is that you were trying to create, reason, because you have it's not just something that you were dreaming of. It's something that you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, in all areas, right, have aligned yourself to what it is that you're trying to create. You're not trying to put yourself in a position to manifest something that in reality you're not really aligned to, right? You can't ask to move to a new environment when you yourself are not in a position, or you haven't positioned yourself to make that move. Does that make sense? So what it is that you have manifested, you are in alignment with in all ways, right? One card for what the opportunities we can create surrounding this message. So again, there's no need to feel fearful of this new phase. There's no need to feel hesitant, right? Because this is something that you can trust, right? If you feel like you can trust yourself in this new phase, and then definitely know that you can trust this manifestation just as well as you can trust yourself, right? Unconditional. Wild. So again, it's almost as if this new phase is only going to create more opportunity for you to bring in more of what it is that you desire, right? You trusting yourself in this new phase, you trusting yourself in this new space, and this new sense of alignment, and grounding yourself in the truth and honesty and in the reality of what it is that you have manifested is only going to create more opportunity for you to bring in more, for you to create more, for you to manifest more, for you to align yourself more with the things that you truly desire, right? One card for what we can meditate on as the focus of this message. Generous, unrecognized, right? So it's almost as if like meditate on, again, the opportunities in which you are desiring to create, right? Not necessarily or not only from the perspective of what it is that you're trying to receive from it, but also from the perspective of what it is that you have to give to it, right? Because the more that you have to feed to your manifestations, the more opportunity that you will receive from the manifestations themselves. Does that make sense? So definitely meditate on what it is that you have to offer, the value that you have to bring, right? The ability and the power that you have within this creation, so that it has the ability to feed you in that same way, right? Who is almost too as if like who it is that you have the ability and the potential to become in this new phase, right? The growth that you have the potential to experience in this new phase, right? Because again, this new path is just going to create more growth and expansion, right? And so you have to be mindful of the fact that if the things around you are growing in expansion, that is in effect also going to require the same within you, right? So within, so without. As above, so below. As the soul is the universe. One card for the new cycles and habits we can innovate to contribute to our growth and expansion surrounding this message. Warrior. With empowered, know the power that you have in creating. Know the power that you have in your abilities to align yourself to the things in which you truly desire, right? Know that you have the ability to create, to move forward, to let go, to align, right? To manifest, to enhance, to grow, right? This is giving like I don't want to say wounded warrior energy, but kind of wounded warrior energy where nothing that you go through is meant to tear you down. It's only meant to feed you strength so that you have the ability to prepare yourself for future lessons or future experiences that you may experience, in life in general, right? So that you also have the ability to not only hold those lessons for yourself, but to give them and provide them and share them to whomever, whenever, wherever they're needed, right? But that's the message that I have for you guys. I hope that it resonated. I know that if you made it to the end of this video, you have found something in it that is worthy and valuable to you. Please don't forget to hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye.